Next, I'm going to show you how you can grade discussion forums. There's two ways you can access the forum in which to grade it. The first, and this is an update that was just done in fall of 2015, is to access the discussion posts for grading through the Grade Center. And to do that, you'll click on Grade Center, then you'll click on Needs Grading. And then you'll see everything that needs grading in the course, whether it be an assignment or a paper that was submitted through a Dropbox, a presentation, or a discussion post. You will receive, it will appear in the Needs Grading area after every post for each student. So you can see this top line, it's the 1.1 online discussion, and it is broken down by user or student. So I can click on the user, and then it shows that post, and then I can go in and actually for that entire thread, it's going to show the posts for that student, and I can go in and grade that student. Now there is another way that you can grade through the discussion forum, and I'm going to show you that way as well as show you how you can use the discussion rubric. So as mentioned previously, you can access the discussion forum itself by clicking through content, then finding the session folder, and then the forum within it, or by clicking on this discussions link. And I'll click on the discussions link now. Then I can click on the forum that I wish to grade. And then I'll click on the Grade Discussion Forum button. Now here, a couple have already been graded. And for this, and you can see the grade for the first two students. And that third student has not yet been graded. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to click on the Grade button. And in this case, the student only has one post, but if the student had more than one, all of the posts would show here. And then on the right is where I can do the grading and enter additional feedback. Now I'm going to show you how to use the discussion rubric. And there's two ways you can access the rubric. One is to click on the title of the rubric, and then the rubric criteria will expand down the right side. And you can see the different criteria, and then within each criteria are the different levels of achievement. If I wanted to see the descriptions for each of the levels of achievement, I can click on Show Descriptions. And for each criteria, I could click this Show Feedback box, and I have the opportunity to provide specific feedback for one type of criteria. So to do the actual grading for each criteria, then I'll click on the level of achievement that applies. Once that occurs, you'll see a score with a percentage in parentheses appear. This is a range. It's a percentage range. And the number chosen is the midpoint of that range. For example, for this criteria, for this level of achievement, the range is from 28 to 31.6. So the midpoint is 30, and I can override that midpoint to any point in this range. And I can continue to do that for all of the criteria. Now I don't have to override. I can leave each score at the midpoint, and then when I get to the bottom of this rubric, I think I've got a couple more to go here, then you'll see this raw total accumulating for everything that I have clicked in the criteria above. I could override that score if I would want, and then there's an additional general feedback box at the very end of this rubric. Then when I'm done, I would click Save Rubric. In this case, I'm not going to click Save Rubric because I want to show you a second way that you can access the rubric. So this time I'm going to click Cancel. So now I'm back. I haven't graded anything, and before I demonstrated by clicking on the title of the rubric. A second way to view the rubric is to the right. There's this square within a square And if I click on that, I get a pop-out box that shows the rubric in a different format. And you can choose whichever way you prefer. And then I see on the left the different criteria. And then I see going across the top the different columns, the different levels of achievement. And then I can click each box. And again, it's a percent range rubric. So this number chosen is the midpoint of the range. I can click on the box and override to any place within that midpoint. If I wanted to score one level of achievement for all criteria, I could just click at the top, and then all of the levels of achievement would be chosen for each criteria, and then I could, if I wanted to, override to whatever is appropriate. So you can click. There are different ways you can click and then get through all the levels of criteria and all the levels of achievement and then the criteria. And you can provide specific feedback for each type of criteria. In addition, there is this raw total that if you wanted to, you could override to whatever you like. And then there's this general feedback box at the bottom. Then when you're all done using the rubric and providing your feedback, you'll click Save. And then you'll see that the score that you entered, or that was the raw total, does appear in this white grade area for you. Then when you're through, there is this one additional feedback box that you could provide additional feedback. That feedback box is there in case someone is not using a rubric, but all AL courses do use a grading rubric, but that is there just in case you need it. Then when I'm all done, I'll click Submit, and then the student will receive the feedback and their score, and then the score will be entered in the Grade Center. And you'll get that message that the grade was saved successfully. And that is how you grade a discussion forum. And when you want to go to the next person, then you can click OK down at the bottom right. And then you can continue grading as needed.